I never imagined that when my wife, Sarah, asked for a break, it would shift the entire foundation of our relationship. We had been married for 7 years. Like any long-term couple, we had weathered our share of highs and lows. But recently, things had become strained. Arguments sparked over trivial things, a growing emotional gap between us, and that stifling silence, the kind that hurt more than shouting ever could. It was a quiet Tuesday evening when everything came to a head. We sat at opposite ends of the dinner table, food untouched, the air thick with unspoken thoughts. Sarah looked worn out, her face lined with fatigue, but her eyes held a kind of resolve I hadn't seen in a while. "I need a break," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. My heart dropped. A break, not a divorce, not even a formal separation, just space. Somehow that felt more uncertain, more painful. It meant she didn't know what she wanted, and that scared me more than a final decision. I swallowed hard, forcing my voice to remain steady. "Okay, take whatever time you need." But I knew one thing. I wasn't going to just sit around and wait. If we were pausing our marriage, I wanted it to have purpose. I needed this time to mean something. I wanted both of us to see clearly what we had, what could still be, without our daily struggles clouding the picture. The following morning, she packed a small bag. There were no tears, no dramatic scenes, just a quiet goodbye and the sound of the door closing behind her. I stood there alone in the silence of the house, caught between a strange sense of relief and a gnawing emptiness. Days slipped by, then a week. No messages, no calls. I reached out once or twice but didn't push it. I respected her space. Instead, I turned inward. I started journaling, something I'd never tried before. Page after page, I poured out every frustration, every fear, every hidden hope. And in doing so, I came face to face with truths I had ignored. I saw how easily I had taken Sarah for granted, how often I had stopped really listening, stopped showing up with presence and care. That realization stung, but it also moved me. So I made changes, small ones at first, but meaningful. I signed up for a cooking class, something Sarah had once suggested we'd do together. Not because I was good at it, but because I wanted to experience a part of her world I'd ignored. I read books about relationships and how to communicate with empathy. I even began meditating, trying to quiet the endless chatter in my head and reconnect with myself. Meanwhile, Sarah had taken her own path. A mutual friend later told me she had gone to a small coastal town. She spent her days walking along the shore, reading, sitting in quiet cafes. She reconnected with parts of herself she had shelved for years. She started painting again, writing poetry, rediscovering the woman she was before life got heavy. After 2 weeks, she returned. I opened the door, and there she was, smiling, but in a way that felt different. It was softer, deeper, like she had come home not just to me, but to herself. "I really needed that time away," she said gently. "Not just from us, but from everything. I needed to remember who I was outside of being a wife or partner." That evening, we talked for hours, really talked, about our fears, our goals, our regrets, and what we hoped for the future. It wasn't a fairy tale fix. There were still things to work through. But something had shifted. That break had cleared the fog and given us a new perspective, a clean slate. When someone asks for space, it can feel like a door closing. But sometimes it's a doorway to a beginning. A space to breathe, to reflect, to grow, and maybe to fall in love all over again in a new way. That break didn't just rescue our marriage. It saved us as people. And that, more than anything, is something I will always hold close.